In the mid-19th century, the sugarcane fields of Guyana witnessed a transformation that would forever shape the nation's cultural landscape. The emancipation of African slaves in the British colonies left a British Guyana with a reduced labor force, prompting sugar plantation owners to seek replacement workers. Initially, the preference for Indian laborers due to lower transportation costs left Chinese recruitment on the back burner. However, with the suspension of Indian immigration between 1848 and 1851, some planters turned to China. In August 1851, the British Guyana government incentivized planters with a bounty of $100 for immigrants introduced into the colony. This led to the first Chinese immigrants' arrival on the Lord Elgin in January 1853, a journey marred by hardship and loss. On the plantation, Chinese immigrants agreed to terms that included a monthly wage of $4, 7.5 workdays, free housing, and deductions for monetary advances. Initially, men and young boys were the majority of immigrants to arrive. However, Chinese women began arriving in 1860, leading to a significant influx until 1866, with the local Chinese population peaking at 10,022. Subsequent arrivals in 1874 and 1879 were followed by a shift, with Chinese immigrants coming voluntarily and at their own expense. A total of 39 ships brought Chinese laborers chartered by recruiting agents in Canton, China, with shipping costs being shared between the colony's immigration fund and plantation owners. The journey took an average of 70 to 177 days, traveling via Singapore and Cape Town before reaching Georgetown. Chinese immigrants were initially assigned to Plantation Blankenberg, West Coast Demerara, and other estates in West Bank Demerara later dispersed to estates in Berbice and Essequibo. While working conditions were generally satisfactory, some Chinese laborers occasionally complained of ill treatment. Despite initial setbacks, the Chinese proved industrious on the sugar estates, prompting planters to advocate for continued immigration. By 1859, permission was granted for private enterprises to transport Chinese immigrants, leading to ships arriving in Georgetown with entire families. Upon the completion of their indenture, laborers were allowed to either renew their contracts or receive $50 as a partial payment for a return passage to China. Few opted to leave Guyana, and those who did often traveled on ships transporting Indians back to India. Those who stayed, however, and were unwilling to work on plantations had options like buying out their contracts, escaping, or unfortunately, suicide. As time went on, traditional food imports like rice, which was a staple in Chinese culture, were expensive, prompting a shift to plantains as a chief food source. As rice cultivation faced challenges, Chinese immigrants turned to purchasing supplies from Indians. Savvy businessmen, they utilized the savings to buy land from African landowners, establishing grocery stores, laundries, and restaurants in rural villages and urban centers like Georgetown and New Amsterdam by the 1880s. In 1900, the Chinese community in British Guyana had diminished to 2,919 individuals. This decline was primarily due to a prevailing preference among the majority of Chinese residents to marry individuals from their homeland. However, the scarcity of Chinese women in the colony further contributed to this trend. Moreover, many Chinese chose to pursue new opportunities and destinies in other countries, with notable emigration destinations including French Guyana, Suriname, and Trinidad. In the post-indentureship era, Guyana has experienced significant human, social, industrial, political, and national development. The Chinese community has played a crucial role, with contributions spanning various aspects, some widely acknowledged and others overlooked or on the periphery of national awareness. Former indentured workers, whether completing their contracts or choosing a different path, have diversified into commercial endeavors, particularly excelling as shopkeepers, making substantial contributions to commerce and entrepreneurship. As Chinese descendants entered the professional realm, their impact extended to law, education, and politics. Among the notable figures, Arthur Raymond Chung stands out as a distinguished Guyanese statesman, serving as the first president of Guyana from 1970 to 1980. As the inaugural ethnic Chinese head of state in a non-Asian country, Chung played a pivotal role in Guyana's fight for independence. His presidency marked a historic milestone, and under his leadership, Guyana established formal diplomatic relations with China in 1972, making it the first English-speaking Caribbean country to do so with the People's Republic of China. Arthur Raymond Chung received Guyana's highest national honor, the Order of Excellence, in recognition of his significant contributions. Another notable figure, Robert Victor Evan Wong, was a pioneering figure in British Guyana, serving as a politician, civil engineer, rancher, and businessman. Elected to the British Guyana legislature in 1926 and 1934, Wong made history as the first Chinese Guyanese member in both the legislative and executive councils. The Chinese community's imprint on Guyana's development remains indelible. From cuisine to literature, politics to sports, their legacy is woven into the very fabric of this nation.
January the 12th is the Chinese Arrival Day in Guyana. This year, this Friday, marks the 171st anniversary of Chinese arrival in Guyana. In the early days, vast majority of Chinese came to Guyana as indentured labor. They worked very hard together with other ethnic groups in the plantations, made a great contribution to the development of agricultural economy of Guyana. And many elements of Chinese culture has been integrated into the culture of Guyana and became an important part of it. It's worth mentioning that there are many outstanding Chinese representatives in Guyana's political, economic, social, even sport and music and other sectors that made their great contribution in the development of the nation. So I believe that the significance of commemoration is in threefold. First, to commemorate the history, especially to tell the younger generation about the history of Chinese Guyanese. And second is to commemorate the contribution of Chinese in Guyanese. And third is to promote social integration and multiculturalism in Guyana, just as the same as other ethnic arrival days. The People's Republic of China established diplomatic relations with Guyana in 1972, and Guyana was the first English-speaking country in Caribbean to establish formal relations with China. In the past 52 years, the two countries have made substantive progress in our cooperation in various fields, with mutual political support and trust, win-win cooperation in economic and trade, and joint efforts in safeguarding common interests of developing countries in international arena. China is ready to work closely with Guyana to strengthen our cooperation in various fields to bring more benefits to the two peoples. Guyana is a very good friend and important partner of China. The bilateral relations enjoy not only long history, but also solid public support. That's the natural strength to develop our bilateral relations. China's diplomacy, the goal of China's diplomacy is to build community with shared future for mankind. So China is ready to work closely with Guyana to conduct high-quality cooperation on the platform of Belt and Road Initiative, to address the challenges together and to achieve common prosperity. China also supports Guyana to play greater role in the regional and international affairs to jointly promote peace, security, prosperity, and progress of the world.
As we celebrate Chinese Arrival Day, we honor the resilience, contribution, and cultural awareness of the Chinese Guyanese community, a testament to the enduring spirit that continues to shape the diverse and harmonious identity of Guyana.